What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you Jeff's Cassandra deck that he played for this week's Retro Round 4 Campus Championship. Retro is an event or a format that Jasco's trying to create, and they've got a online tournament event that they're going to be happening on July 18th. A link for the sign-up will be in the description down below. And the format is you can play any card that you want from the original Red Horizon set all the way up to the most recent printed DLC set. Sans a small ban list, which we'll leave in the description down below. So yeah, this is Earth Cassandra doing a lot of crazy Earth Cassandra stuff and gets a couple extra tools because of Retro. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, Cassandra, if you haven't seen one of my deck profiles before, basically what I'm going to be doing is, as opposed to just reading off the cards verbatim and telling you what they do, I'm going to be telling you more about how they work in the deck and like what their job is. So, Cassandra is a 7-hand size 22 vitality character that's really, really, really good at defense. She gets to build extra assets depending on when she checks them, but they do come in committed, so we have to wait for half of a turn in order to get them, and it gets she gets speed equal to the printed block modifier, and so her attacks get a little bit faster, and she gets access to more cards than the average person, and she's a 7-hand size character with 22 life. That's so much life. So with that, we're going to go ahead and just jump into the deck. The first attack that we're playing is the main finisher attack. This is 4 from Science with Love. You get momentum equal to the number of assets that you have, and then you just multiple out 1,000,000 based on the number of face down foundations that they have. And so the goal of this deck is to see how many of their foundations I can flip, and with them flipping things, me flipping things, and then I'm gonna multiple them for 100, and then murder them that way. Up next, we've got 4 Pilgrimage of Anthropolis. This card just says, my opponent flips one of their foundations. And if they have 3 or more foundations face down, I get to draw an additional card. A little card draw, a little board control, and really just combos with Science. And the last attack we're playing in the deck is 4 Angel Discus. This card is either like the best poke in Cassandra or the best block. So if you block with it, it deals no damage, and you can just play this card every single turn because Cassandra's always going to have at least 1 asset. I'll play it, say that it'll get added back to my hand, play out the rest of my turn, and then pick it back up. I've either got a good block, or next turn I have another attack to lead off with. And so it's just a 3 mid for 3 that kind of gets them closer to the danger zone for whenever I from Science them. All right, onto the assets themselves. We are playing 3 Omega Sword and Owl Shield. This card is just really, really strong. This card inside of Cassandra is borderline unfair. It says that while it's ready, all of your cards don't count towards progressive for blocking, and so you just get to block everything. Cassandra says that your block modifiers get -2, and then you can check, and it's the opposite stat of Cassandra, so it gets damage instead of speed, and so everything gets +X if you have them just by checking 2 cards. Just unbelievably strong card. This card's super, super good. The number 1 asset that you want to see out on your board and ready. We're playing 1 Requiem. This card just says I get a bunch of damage, or I commit it and get to protect my vitality by reducing their damage, hopefully to nothing. We're playing 1 Coludus to get rid of problem cards, as well as fuel our from Science plays. I need them to have face down foundations, and so every time that I touch them with a little baby Angel Discus, I'm going to flip one of their cards. We're playing 1 Astronomy Tower. This card says Form Flip. Flip all assets and foundations with flip costs in both staging areas. So if my opponent's got some cool things like Telekinetic Mastery or some other really rad stuff, I'm gonna build a foundation, because that's what the flip means on an asset, and then flip like 3 or 4 cards. Hey, did my attack just get multiple 3 or 4? That sounds good. And then response, check a 5. After my opponent plays a keyword ability, they flip one of their foundations, and so they just have to be careful whether they break or they stun, they whatever. I'll just flip their whole board. Up next, we've got Double White House. This card just says that actions essentially can't be played. And anytime that I build in one of my assets, I can just commit it and then draw an additional card. So not only did I get essentially +1 hand size from building in an asset, but I got an actual +1 hand size by physically drawing an extra card. This card is just Value Town, and it stops my opponent from playing stuff. We're playing double Omega Sword and Elk Shield. This card's just a super good defensive card. After you build it in, it comes in committed, and then you can block with it from your staging area. So you are a pseudo extra hand size because as opposed to using a resource from your hand, you're using it from your board that you got for free off Cassandra. In the same vein, we're also playing one Cormorant. It's the same type of idea of it'll come in committed and I can still block with it, and it says Breaker 2. So as opposed to just only taking 1 damage, the value of this card is my opponent hopefully is going to stop playing cards, or they'll overcost. They'll be extra taxed for playing cards. Up next, we're playing one Capsule. This card seals problem cards, kind of like Colludus, but more on an enhanced speed as opposed to a response speed. And then it says if my opponent plays abilities on foundations, their attacks get -1 speed, which is super good for Cassandra's blocking. And this does not say enhances; it does say abilities. So if they play responses and such, I can just keep checking 5s or 4s, excuse me, and reduce their speed down to nothing. Up next, we're playing double Maze Castle. This card says that if my opponent is being a little too wily, a little too aggressive on their turns, I can take in response, commit, and say absolutely not. As well as it says discard a momentum, change the zone of this attack to any other zone. With From Science with Love gaining me so much momentum based on my assets, maybe they don't have enough face downs for me to multiple out and kill them. This card just says that I get to auto block everything for free. The one thing I will note is this is a terrain, and so is the White House, if I can find it quickly. So I cannot have both of these cards out on the field at the same time. Terrain has the keyword that says there can only be one terrain on the board at a time, whether it's mine or yours. Who's played the last terrain gets to keep theirs. Up next, we're playing one Pillardrome. Response committed foundation. Before the damage would go to wherever, it would just go back to its printed stats. My opponent can flip a card to cancel it. This is one of the ways that I can make sure that my opponent's attacks don't get too overstated, because they're not going to want to flip their foundations unless they think they can kill you. And Cassandra's really, really good at staving off those attacks. And then once they've flipped all their foundations to hopefully make their attacks go through, I From Science with Love and multiple a million. And the last asset that we're playing double swordfish. If you notice, this card is off symbol. This is under the life symbol, and we are playing Earth. Because the main thing is after Cassandra checks it, we'll just build it into our staging area. On the next turn, we'll ready it back up. Hey, we're ready, and it's good to go. I can just negate an attack, as well as it's really, really strong to possibly just give myself a momentum and then just try and pop off there. I'll play my Angel Discus and have it From Science in hand, and need to grab from extra momentum. I'll go ahead and just grab one. Onto our foundations, we're playing triple the second Saintly Beast. This card's just extra speed. Cassandra already gives 2 speed. This card gives 2 speed, but it also has the added bonus of also giving -2 speed if we needed. And if they do get to deadlock, because that's one of the ways to beat this deck, I'm just going to flip their entire staging area, and now my From Science with Loves are going to do multiple a million. We're playing triple, the Key to Humanity's Freedom. This card's incredible with Swordfish, but it's got a lot of really other good utility with the other assets that we're playing, and it also just gives extra damage for free, just twice per turn, +2 damage. Up next, we're playing double Betrayer of 12. If they decide to block or not block your Angel Discus as a free poke, you get to either flip one of their foundations or draw an extra card. The Angel Discus is already going to go back to my hand, and so it's just a +1 at that point. Really, really strong card. Shouldn't be more of a 2 of. We're playing double Servant of Ares. This is just spot control, foundation spot control. Flip, lose 2 vitality, flip one of my opponent's foundations. I get to pick. Once again, it's at the enhanced speed. We're playing double Pride of the Tribe. After I commit this in order to block, my opponent flips a card, and so it's just kind of a sneaky way for them to think, oh, my staging area is safe. They're not going to be flipping a bunch of stuff. Oh, well, actually, I'll just commit both of these, and now you'll commit 2. My From Science with Love just got even deadlier. We're playing triple Eviscerate. If I take damage, you flip a foundation. Making sure that my From Science with Love can go off just as soon as possible. Making sure my opponent's cards just don't have any card text is like the main goal of this Cassandra deck. And it's the reason we are playing, I apologize for the proxies, 3 Push the Limits. Push the Limits says after you play it, my opponent flips a foundation. It's just as a good spam 0-5-2-3 low block. Up next, we're playing triple the Forbidden Technique. This card just essentially says build 1 card for free. It becomes a resource off the top of your deck. And so if I build this in on turn 1, I've essentially built an additional free foundation by flipping and building the top card of my deck. Really good on defensive turns. Up next, we're playing Triple Gentle Soul. This card is a really, really good spam card. It's got good spam. It's got a fantastic high block, but no card text, so be wary. One of the first things you want to flip if my opponent's trying to flip stuff. Flip or destroy. Up next, we're playing Triple Guardian of the Spirit Sword. This card's crazy good on defense, and it's even nuttier inside of Cassandra just because of how she works with assets. I'll be able to discard a card, add an asset like an Owl Shield up to my hand, and then just play it on my turn. Unbelievably strong. Sometimes we get unlucky and we check a couple assets that we aren't allowed to respond and build in just because we're playing so many. Just because lets us find out the rest of our board. Up next, we're playing Double Bakery Poster Girl. Playable while committed. If they have played 3 enhances, I get to pretty much auto block whatever I want in the turn. Double Demonic Guard. Because of how much flipping we're doing inside of the deck, they're going to have plenty of face downs, and this just says possibly just cancel 1 attack because hey, you've got 6 face downs, well, I'll give it -6 damage. Well, now I don't have to worry about it. Up next, we've got Triple Dark Side of Karma. Once again, a really good playable while committed ability. After they play an ability on a non-character, non-weapon card, which is like 4/5 of the cards in the game, I'm just going to cancel it by removing it. It is a bit of a deterrent, though. It's possible they can play around it because it does sit on board as opposed to an action inside of your hand that you can play like Revoke. But this card sometimes will just win you games. I've got 3 Dark Side of Karmas on board. You're just not going to do anything. There's no defensive enhances or offensive enhances that are going to kill me. And then my last card is 1 Familiar Faces. This card really is here just to make sure that Prepare to Fight does not nuke all of our multiples from Times with Love. After they play an ability on an action, just cancel it. And so there you have it. There was Jeff's Cassandra deck that he played for this week's Retro Round 4 Campus Championship. Like we said at the top, if you're interested in playing in the Retro event, we will leave a link in the description down below. Make sure you sign up for that. If you sign up, you just get a free box. You just get a box for coming out and playing. If you liked the rest of these, if you liked this profile, I'm getting my words mixed up, make sure you check out all the matches that Cassandra played, as well as all the other retro profiles that we have here on the channel. Join us every Tuesday at 6 whenever we record these campus championships. Join us in the chat. We'd love to hang out while we play rad games. And lastly, if you like the content, please feel free to go out and support us on Patreon, patreon.com/TCGUniversity. Get access to a bunch of awesome Patreon-only content, as well as access to the Discord, where we can sit down and we can talk about your really awesome Cassandra deck. So, from all of us here at TCGU, thank you very much for watching this, and stay learnt.